What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock, what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to be breaking down why tomorrow is going to be an absolutely massive day for Tesla stock and all of its investors, because tomorrow is going to be the big annual meeting for all of the shareholders. This is going to be absolutely huge. It's going to be on Thursday, August 4th at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. So obviously, it's taking place in Texas. We actually have like a really cool looking Tesla car in Texas. It looks very amazing, and this is going to be absolutely huge for the future of Tesla. So I'm going to give you guys kind of like a preview of this, talk about what you should be looking out for, some big potential things that could be announced, and kind of go forward from there. Now, before I break anything down, before I talk about how this could actually affect Tesla's share price, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,500. And you could always sell these 12 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free. This is a limited time offer, and it's in just 13 days. So please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So Tesla was up 2.27% for the day, and we did actually see something very strange happen to Tesla. So Tesla was actually kind of dropping yesterday, showing some very bearish signs. The same thing was actually happening with SPY and the overall market, and then all of a sudden we got this big wave of buyers stepping in. They pushed Tesla up like that, and I mentioned to you guys that, look, sometimes predictions are not always going to be right, and sometimes Tesla will do things that you least expect, and that's why it's very important to remember the key zones I talk about. So you'll notice that Tesla pushed up into this range. The support was around that 900 range. You can see Tesla actually held that up, and Tesla was fighting. It was trying to actually break past the resistance, and this is actually a bullish sign now, because Tesla's now like, what's happening is it's pushing up, and there's a wall right here. There's this big wall, and it's very hard for it to break this, but it was just pushing it and pushing it and pushing it until we closed. We actually closed right where that key resistance was, above 920, and that's a very good sign in my opinion, because it shows Tesla wants to run, and it looks like we might actually see some nice moves for tomorrow. Now, there is uncertainty when it comes to these meetings, so it is possible for this thing to trade a little sideways, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. I think a lot of investors are very excited, and we're seeing some really nice price action. So the real question is, and this is the big question, can we break past that 920 to 935 resistance zone? Could we actually break past this tomorrow? And in my opinion, typically we can't really break this out of nowhere unless we see a big move from the markets, but we will be able to if there's that external factor. That external factor may actually be the shareholder meeting. Maybe we get some FOMO in there. Maybe people are very excited. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually break past this tomorrow and actually see some nice price action. We may even break past this during the after hours when the meeting is taking place. So be prepared for that. Now, when it comes to the meeting, I want to talk about what's going on with the overall market too, before I actually break down the details in Tesla's share price, because right now the overall market is actually rallying too. You could see the fear and greed index. The market went from being kind of more on the fear side to now getting very close to neutral. And this is once again a good sign that the market does have a little bit more room to continue pushing up. If you look at SPY, SPY did something very, very interesting today. Let me actually pull up the SPY chart. The SPY was pushing up on the daily candles. You'll see the SPY was just pushing and pushing, and it wasn't looking that great yesterday. Then all of a sudden we got this big spike, a slight increase in volume, but a lot of buyers stepped in again, and the bears kind of stepped back again, once again, just to let this thing push up. And we actually closed above the 200 EMA, which is a good sign that the SPY most likely has a little bit more room to keep pushing forward. So we might actually see SPY push up a little bit more. We're at that key resistance level. So the market does look like it might not necessarily hurt Tesla when it comes to Tesla pushing up, because the market could act as an anchor if something bad were to happen. And right now, SPY is looking pretty darn good. Now, even though SPY is looking good, this is the thing I was talking about in my previous videos. Remember, just because the market's pushing up, it doesn't mean that the bears are just disappearing. It just means that they're taking a break and they're getting ready to come back when the time is right. Is the time right now? The answer is, as of right now, it doesn't seem that way. But in the next few weeks, maybe a month from now, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see the bears come back and push the market down. Because when you look at SPY, all right, the SPY has a gap right here at 409. The SPY has another gap at 391, another one at 406. I mean, it has like 6-7 gaps down here, and it is something you got to be prepared for. What this means for Tesla is Tesla might push up after this this annual meeting. It may make some very nice moves, but you have to keep your emotions contained. Because even if this thing does push to the 970, even if it goes to as high as 1,000, let's just say that happens, it's most likely not going to last forever. It's most likely going to come back down in the later weeks. So I want you guys to keep your emotions aside, trade intelligently, and secure profits when you can. Non-financial advice, by the way. Anyways, for Tesla, what you have to look out for that's very important, and that is I'm actually a little bit more bullish than bearish for tomorrow. I think tomorrow Tesla's going to fight these key resistance levels around that 920 range, which we can actually break 920. We could hold that. The next a very important zone would be maybe around 930 to 935. If we could actually break that, I really believe Tesla could push all the way to the mid $900 level and maybe even higher if we see a big push. And this thing likes to get pushed up when we have big events like this. So we might see some FOMO come in. It might push Tesla up temporarily. And the big announcements that come could be a catalyst for even bigger moves for tomorrow. So you guys got to be prepared for that. So I'm going to break down now what could Tesla end up doing. Just to make it clear, I'm more in favor of a more bullish move. I think right off the bats tomorrow, this thing might actually start fighting for these key zones. There could come a moment where this thing does drop down a little bit, like right back down to that 910 range. But I'm not seeing this thing dropping back down to the 800s. In my opinion, it seems more like this thing is just going to fight all day tomorrow. It'll fight, and it might actually get a nice push out of this zone. Now, I don't know for sure if we're actually going to do that because it's very strong resistance. But if we get this break, we might get a really nice move, and we could actually push to that 950 range or even higher if there is that much FOMO and if we see those nice pushes to the upside. So in my opinion, I think upside is more likely to happen. And like I said before, these moves may not last forever, but I am more bullish than bearish, and I do think tomorrow is going to be a fight if we could actually break this key resistance level. And you could see it wants to break it. It's been trying out of nowhere. It really wants to. So I'm going to be more optimistic and just predict that we're more likely to see a very nice move. And once again, probably not going to last forever, but it's also dependent on what Elon Musk or even Tesla as a whole announce. And that's where I'm going to transition this video into tomorrow. So once again, be ready for tomorrow after the market closes at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, August 4th. That's when we have the big meeting. And during this meeting, I think there are going to be some very big things. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that Elon Musk basically mentioned the fact that supply chain hell is coming to not just an end, but it's more like it's slowing down now. And these issues are not going to hurt Tesla as much. Not to mention the fact that the lockdowns in China are also coming to a halt. And there are some people that are kind of worried about the political aspect of it. I'm not going to really mention that in this video, but I want to put it out there that that does not seem like a massive issue as of right now for Tesla. So I'm not really worried about that. And if anything, the second half as of right now look poised for lots of amazing achievements for Tesla. And that's the reason why Elon Musk mentioned that supply chain issues may not be as bad. And I really think Tesla is going to advertise this right here. They're going to talk about how their profit margins are going to be increasing over time, just like how we saw them increasing for almost every quarter for the past couple of quarters, except for the recent one we had due to the lockdowns. But that's not really like in their fault or anything like that, but they also have that 50% target for output growth. And I really believe Tesla is going to aim to reach this goal again. Despite how the lockdowns hurt them, what they're going to do is they're going to make up for it by ramping everything up for the second half. I think that's what their plan is. They have all these different gigafactories, and the capacities of the gigafactories has been increasing over the last couple of weeks. So that's very good for them. And I really believe this is going to be advertised a lot because investors are going to love this. So I think that's very huge. And there could be other big announcements too. You could see that in the past, their profit margins just kept on climbing and climbing. I know this chart doesn't show Q2, and I apologize for that, but it did decrease a bit in Q2, but it's going to keep going up again as we approach the later quarters, and I'm still very, very bullish. I think this is going to be mentioned as well. And we could also see this right here. Tesla has Tesla Energy increasing. So Tesla is currently testing a new version of the solar roof on the employees' homes. Once again, that's amazing. We have these really nice roof tiles that are actually put on there, and they have a very different texture to them. It looks very nice. It actually looks like it's part of the roof. It's not even noticeable for a lot of people. So it's cool, a new design. And if you notice Tesla's margins, the energy sector, that made up a bigger part of Tesla's revenue, I think, during the last quarter relative to other ones. Now, it's not just because of the fact that deliveries went down. It's also because this is a growing market for Tesla. So I think we're going to hear more news about this, not to mention the fact that they have this supercharger network increasing too. So I do think we're going to have big announcements like that. We're also going to be learning about the full self-driving technology, learn about new updates and whatever else Elon Musk has to say. So I think that's going to be very, very big for them as well. And there are more details about that, but I'm going to move on to this part right here. Some people are talking about how there could be another upgrade or maybe a new version of the Cybertruck, maybe a Cybertruck Mini. They are talking about how they rendered a Model Y template of it. Now, this doesn't guarantee that this is going to be finalized, but we could get some updates about the Cybertruck too. Maybe Elon Musk will make an announcement about the time it's going to be coming out. And I know that his projections are not always correct because things happen, but it's good for him to try to push things as quickly as possible. That's how Elon Musk is. He tries to be optimistic and always pushes forward. So that's exactly why that's good for Tesla as well. And the final really, really big thing I've been talking about on this channel is the stock split proposal. I believe we're going to get a very, very good announcement about that too. And I do believe Tesla is going to end up clearing the way for a 3-for-1 stock split. Once again, that's going to be good for the majority of investors because investors can actually afford more shares. And although that does not improve the company fundamentally, it will improve a lot of their price action in a way, especially from the options chain, as we're going to see a lot of people, especially retail, buying up those calls or even puts or even selling more covered calls. Things are going to change big time for the company. And I really think that this could be a good move into the right direction for them. So the last thing I wanted to remind you guys about is Elon Musk's tweet from yesterday. I know I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to mention it again. Musk tweeted, there is still time for you to vote. You could vote for the 2022 shareholder meeting because Tesla has some big things coming up. This is your chance to get your voice heard. If you check your email, depending on the brokerage you're using, you have a say in the moves that the company makes, including the stock split. So it's important to get your voice heard, right? I'm not going to kind of sway you into voting for anything. That's really your choice. But there are different proposals out there. This is your opportunity. Please take advantage of that. And that's essentially what I have for this video. So with that all said and done, tomorrow is going to be a big day. I do think it's possible for FOMO to take over and we could actually see some very, very good price action, but I'm not going to guarantee that this will happen because it's very unpredictable how a stock could move during big meetings because it's not necessarily moving on just technicals. It's also going to move based off news, based off how people feel and other factors like that. So this could be the catalyst that kind of helps us temporarily break past this key resistance level. I mean, I can't guarantee that it'll happen that soon. Maybe it'll take another day to actually break it depending on what's announced, but it is possible. And Tesla has a tendency of kind of surprising people. And you can see it really wants to break this resistance. It's trying really hard right now. So that's why I'm more inclined to believe we're going to see some more bullish price action tomorrow, maybe get another green close and maybe break out of the resistance level for tomorrow. So don't really count on this prediction. Take it with a grain of salt because, it's very hard to predict these things considering it's moving based off news and an event. But I'm just more bullish than bearish. And I think that something like this is more likely to happen than us kind of tumbling down and not being able to break resistance. With that said and done, thank you all so much for listening. Please have an absolutely fantastic rest of the day and get ready for tomorrow. It's going to be a big day, and I really believe Tesla has some big surprises for us. So please sleep well, get ready, be prepared, remain calm, cool, and collected, and I will see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon because the long-term future is bright, and peace out.